Did you know that 75% of millionaires use debt to build their wealth, while 80% of average Americans are drowning in it? I spent 10 years studying how the ultra-wealthy use debt differently, and what I discovered changed my life forever. Today, I'm going to reveal the exact strategies that separate the rich from the poor when it comes to using debt as a wealth-building tool. I remember sitting at my kitchen table in 2015, staring at my $50,000 credit card debt and feeling absolutely hopeless. Like most people, I was taught that debt was dangerous, something to avoid at all costs. My parents always said, stay out of debt, save your money. But then I met my mentor, a self-made millionaire who transformed my understanding of money forever. He taught me that the rich don't avoid debt. They harness its power. Today, I'm going to share everything I learned from him and my decade of studying the wealthy. The hidden truth about how the rich use money. Let me share something that shocked me when I first discovered it. The ultra-wealthy like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg rarely use their own money to buy anything. Instead, they use what I call smart debt, a strategy that's made them billions while keeping their wealth intact. What separates the rich from the poor isn't their access to debt. It's their understanding of the difference between debt that makes you poor and debt that makes you rich. When you use your credit card to buy a TV or take out a personal loan for a vacation, you're using debt that makes you poor. But when you borrow against assets to buy more assets, you're using debt that makes you rich. This simple distinction changed my entire financial life, and it's about to change yours too. The billion-dollar asset secret. The wealthy have mastered a strategy that seems counterintuitive to most people. They never sell their appreciating assets. Instead, they borrow against them. Last year, I was faced with a decision that perfectly illustrates this principle. I needed $200,000 to start my second business. I could either sell my stock portfolio or take out a portfolio line of credit at 4% interest. I chose to borrow, and that decision made me an extra $12,000 while keeping my original assets intact. Here's why this strategy is so powerful. My stocks continued growing at 10% annually, generating $20,000 in gains. The loan only cost me $8,000 in interest, which was tax-deductible as a business expense. Not only did I make a profit, but I also avoided paying capital gains tax on selling my stocks. This is exactly how the ultra-wealthy like Elon Musk maintain their lifestyle without selling their company's shares. The real estate empire formula that changed my life. Want to know the most powerful wealth-building strategy I've ever discovered? I call it the real estate empire formula, and it's how I built a portfolio of properties that generates over $30,000 in monthly cash flow. The strategy is simple, but incredibly powerful. Instead of saving up to buy one property with cash, use strategic debt to control multiple properties simultaneously. Let me share a real example from my own portfolio. I started with a $300,000 property, putting down just $15,000. The property generates $2,500 in monthly rent, while costing $2,000 in monthly expenses, including the mortgage. That's $500 monthly cash flow, plus $9,000 annual appreciation, and over $10,000 in tax benefits from depreciation. Now multiply this by 5 properties, and you'll see how the wealthy build real estate empires. The silent wealth killer. Most people miss. Inflation. Most people see it as an enemy, but the wealthy understand it's their greatest ally when using debt correctly. When I borrowed $1 million in 2015 to buy an apartment building, my monthly payment was fixed at $4,760. Back then, the average rent per unit was $1,200. Today, those same units rent for $1,800, but my debt payment hasn't changed a penny. This is how the rich use debt and inflation to their advantage. They borrow money today and pay it back with cheaper dollars tomorrow. The business empire blueprint. Remember Rockefeller? He built his empire not by avoiding debt, but by using it strategically to acquire competitors and scale his operations. I've developed a modern version of his strategy that I called the business empire blueprint. It starts with proving your business model on a small scale using minimal debt. Once you've demonstrated profitability, you can leverage that success to secure better financing terms and scale strategically. I used this exact blueprint to grow my first business from a $50,000 loan to a $5 million operation in just 3 years. The key is understanding how to use different types of business debt, from equipment financing to accounts receivable lines of credit, at the right time for maximum growth. The ultimate liquidity strategy. Here's the biggest misconception about wealth. You don't need to be liquid to be wealthy. The rich keep their money in appreciating assets while maintaining access to cash through strategic debt. I maintain multiple lines of credit against my assets, which gives me instant access to capital when opportunities arise. This strategy allowed me to take advantage of the 2020 market crash while others were stuck on the sidelines. Your action plan for building wealth. Now that I've shared these strategies with you, let's talk about how you can implement them in your own life. Start by auditing your current debt. Look at each loan and ask yourself, is this debt making me richer or poorer? Begin building your asset base, even if you start small with stocks or REITs. As your asset base grows, you can begin implementing more sophisticated strategies. The most important thing is to start building banking relationships now. Your ability to access strategic debt will depend largely on your credit profile and banking relationships. Focus on maintaining excellent credit and start networking with private lenders who understand these wealth-building strategies. Remember, debt is like fire. In the hands of someone who understands it, it provides warmth and energy. In the hands of someone who doesn't, it can burn everything down. You now have the knowledge that separates the wealthy from the average when it comes to using debt. The only question is, what are you going to do with it? If you found value in these wealth-building strategies, hit that like button and subscribe to learn more about building generational wealth. Next week, I'll show you exactly how to start building your real estate portfolio with little money down. Don't miss it.